From the village of Ipplepen in South Devon, the children of the village school sang Christmas greetings by singing and playing carols old and new.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Proudly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when the poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. In the pagan Safari, and looks its belly, yonder pheasant too is he, where and what is dwelling. Sally lives a goodly hence underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, rising at this mountain. Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me fine old cider.
And the parents went up. There was some arrangements made, but we just knew we were going to London. So I think we didn't actually know what was happening until we were there.
At the studio?
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember the big party afterwards.
The most significant memories was again during the war. We used to go out to Orley Common. I don't know why, but everyone thought it was safer to go out there, and I remember seeing a glow in the sky over Plymouth and the same thing from Exeter at the same time, and it's a memory that I should always have. In a horrific time, but as kids we didn't pay the significance of that, but it's a memory that's always there.
And I remember the bakery, which was by the War Memorial. Always used to have to get the sticky buns from in there. And obviously that changed, then it went to where the shop is now. And I think the shop has probably been a few different shops since I was little. And there's also the shop, Brook Cottage Stores, where my best friend used to live, so I remember that really well. And I used to love being there because her dad would always let us have a pot noodle. We'd always go nick a pot noodle from the shop and go and sit and eat that. So that was Brook Cottage Stores, so that's gone obviously. And there's Barnfield Stores, which I used to work at. I remember getting 90p an hour when I used to work there on a Saturday morning. So yeah, a lot of the shop's gone. It's a shame because we've only got really the post office and Co-op. Is it Co-op now?
I also remember all the shopkeepers like Old Man Gribble from the stores at the bottom, Ernie Medland, who had the little shop in what was the Narrows, Con Courtney and his wife had a little fruit shop just above them. Oh, I've missed out Butcher Lang, and then of course Joan and Phil Joe, who used to run the post office. They're all great characters.
There was the Heppers in Absley House, and he used to go up with a couple of cows past our place, and she'd go up with them with a couple of cans to deliver some milk. And then there was Blatchford's down North End. They used to go up with 2 or 3 cows. She'd be taking some milk to somebody. There was my mother-in-law, became my mother-in-law at Croker's Farm. She used to sell milk at the door. People used to come with their cans or their bottle of jugs in the morning, 8:30 to 9:30, and then again in the afternoon they'd come. Bring their own cans or jugs. And of course I carried on that was my job when I married and went there with her. I had to be ready by 4:30. We always changed our clothes from the morning to the afternoon, never wore the same thing right through. I took off our aprons, ready to serve the milk. And then there was
Fred Emmett used to have cows.
Oh, Fred Emmett, yes, Fred Emmett had cows. And where were the chapel?
Is it Bennett's?
Bennett's, there was them. I think it was about...
milk.
Yeah. Oh, and another, what was he called down? I've got a photo of him somewhere. Down North End.
There's another Bennett.
It was a Bennett, wasn't it? Fred... They didn't have any family, did
No.
they?
Forget his name. He and his wife. Yes, I know.
Manuel Blatchford, he had a son, didn't he?
Yes.
Of the people that have disappeared, yeah, I was great friends with Babe Mortimer, who lived down the road from me. I used to help him out a lot, and I got on very well with the old vicar, a man called Reverend Eustace B. Stevenson.
Well, I already said Mr. Blatchford with the long white beard, didn't I?
Yeah.
And there used to be a lady, do you remember Mrs. Tremlett? I think they called Tremlett clothes
Yeah.
after her. Mrs.
Yeah.
Tremlett used to
Yeah.
wear a man's trilby, a very long old mackintosh and black boots, and carry a milk can up for them. And I think she used to be in behind Stephen's farm. She came from where they lived. Remember her?
Yeah, yep.
Your town then.
Okay. Mr. Langworthy, who was the manager of the court for years. Mr. Hepper, who had the farm where Keith
Well, it's where the co-op shop is now.
Apsley House. He had 5 cows there that he would drag down through the village every morning.
And I'd already said that on there. I used to deliver milk on a little hand cart with a churn and a pint measure and a half pint measure, and people used to bring their jug out when he went up through.
Remember Herbie Major, who was the farmer at Croker's Farm for many years.
Ride his horse up there,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Again, there was a Mr. Mann who kept a horse. Had no farmland at all, but he would ride this horse all over the place. And I remember one day this horse fell down a hole which
Right.
appeared in the road.
He wouldn't go.
Oh.
He was up on top of Moor Lane, I
Oh,
remember,
right.
and the horse stopped. He wouldn't go, and they found out that the road collapsed.
So that's memories for you.
Yeah, he used to wear a bowler hat, didn't he?
Yes, he